At what age do koi stop or slow down growth? So interestingly, I mean, they stop when genetics stop them, not so much age. It's the genetics is the biggest limiting factor in all this. So if the genetics say, no, enough's enough, you're going to struggle to push that koi beyond that threshold. Most koi have that big, so the big growth spurt comes up to Sansai. Tosai to Nisai, Nisai to Sansai is going to be your two biggest year-on-year jumps. But ultimately you can, so if there's genetic potential there for say 80 centimeters, for example, you can ultimately by your actions limit that to be less. So if you don't get the growth on it up to Sansai, trust me, after that point, it's going to take a hell of a long time of slower year-on-year growth to get that fish to its maximum. If actually you get it to its maximum at all, that will have a profound impact. But yeah, certainly this is the one I find it. So like small Nisai, and we've got the video content on this churning in the background. So the Okawa Shirotsuris, if you haven't seen the video already on our channel, they were very small Nisai because I'd had them sat in a small tank all summer with no pond for them. And moved them into, first of all, one of the 1,500 gallon ponds I've got. And they had a great spurt in there because the plan was I'd raise them over winter for them to have a catch-up period that they missed out on in the summer. So they had a great period in there. And then just because that growth was lost this summer, completely irrelevant. They've had a massive period, and now they've moved them further into one of the 3.5K ponds. On last check-in, I think they're up to 40 centimeters in some cases already. So by the time I'm done with them, say another maybe 6 to 8 weeks on them, they're easily going to be fish up to 45 cm as a full-term Nisai at that point, because they're not going to turn, Nisai getting released into mud ponds for certain breeders will only be that kind of size. So that's job done. That's all that growth gained and done. But what I tend to find is if you don't, it's not so much getting the size, it's developing the bone structure. If you don't get the development of bone structure in these early years, that's what's going to cause you the problem. Because from what I've seen, yes, in some cases you can recover it a little bit more. Sansai to Yonsai, it's not all lost. You've just got to really be on it, because going beyond that point, then your life is going to get more difficult. What you can tend to find is the structure becomes a bit more set. So if you've got a really small 3-year-old fish that's really not grown, I'm talking maybe 30, 40 cm, something like that. In a lot of cases, there's not a lot left in that fish. And ultimately all that will happen, especially if it's female, all that happens is beyond that point is you'll fire food at them, and then you'll tend to find the body line will just sort of go to shit, and you'll find it quite a hard fish to manage overall. So, and with male fish on the flip side of that, what they can tend to do, or even male and female, to be honest with you, you can tend to be the point where the fins sort of carry on. You're getting that growth in the fins a little bit, so they look a bit oversized for the body. And it's why, for me, I know in the past there's been some breeders who have tried to pass off what have been technically small Nisai left in the fish houses over summer for jumbo Tosai the following spring. And with good experience, you can see it, because what happens is the body line can be slightly different, certainly in the female examples, and the fin sort of size and scale and eye size and scale versus the body looks different. And you really can pick that up with a little bit of practice. And I sort of questioned them, and it was writ all over the face, which is not great practice, but that is what it is. But yeah, you can tell. But like I say, you can bring it back. I've proved that with the Kawashiros, and you'll see in the next part of the video just exactly what they've done and achieved. So yeah, not all last, but if you're really looking to get maximum size, it is absolutely paramount that over Tosai to Nisai, Nisai to Sansai, you really max them out in order to keep pushing it on to that max size in them later years. So hope you find that useful.